Welcome back to part 16. Can you believe it? Part 16, 21 years as an English teacher in Thailand, 1 ex-wife, 3 dogs in heaven. Just a quick recap. So, after pandemic, I'm still at the college. I've kind of decided that I want to move over to online teaching. Ooh, new. And I've got to say, I was really nervous about this. I would say I'm an experienced teacher, teaching for best part of 16, 17 years, managing teachers, recruiting teachers, training teachers. I was really nervous about switching to online. I'll talk more about that. But for now, I kind of told the college that I was considering moving on. But I'm not stupid. You know, I've got to keep working. I've got to generate income. I've got the dogs. I've got my rent, I've got all my living costs, and I've got an ex-wife who's still, you know, occasionally needing money. So I continued at the college and I started applying for jobs teaching online. And this is completely new territory for me. Didn't have a clue, but I knew that China was the market at this time, and I'd say now, probably 4 years ago, it was pretty much booming. And there was good money being made, but I was so nervous. I can't express. I was like, I'm so used to being in the classroom in front of 10, 20, 50, 60 students, but one-on-one behind a computer screen. And like I said, I'll talk more in detail about that. So I started applying for these jobs on these Chinese websites. I can't even remember the name of them. But if you talk to me, if you want to get a coaching session, I can guide you to where you need to find the jobs. But basically, I started applying for jobs, and what they want is they want a resume, of course, a CV. They want certificates, and they want a video, an introduction video. And this is really important. So I thought about the introduction video, and I thought, okay, yeah. And I put one together. And again, I'd be happy to advise you on how to make a really great introduction video, because there is a bit of science behind it and you need to think about it, how you look, what you say, how long it is, you know, it's important. So I actually got a lot of responses, and I think probably because I'm extremely handsome. No, I'm English, yeah? I mean, there's no getting away from it. Being an experienced English teacher from England does count for a lot. There's no getting around it. So I got a lot of interest. And one particular guy responded to me, and he was super keen. I mean, fluent in English. And I very quickly established a connection with him, and I accepted the job. He sent me a contract, and I was working for this company straight away. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was instant. So I was now teaching at the college, and I was slipping away at the end of the day or after my classes, because the college weren't really worried that I needed to stay till the end of the day. If I finished at 2 o'clock, I could go home. I mean, it was fair enough. They didn't need me to be sitting in the bloody classroom twiddling my thumbs. I mean, they knew that I had things to do. They knew Lucky wasn't very well, my dog. So I would go home and I'd start teaching. And here's the thing. You can be a victim of your own success when teaching online or anywhere. And again, without blowing my trumpet, I just did it again, I realised I was good at it. And I started getting loads of students. And the problem I have is I'm not good at saying no. And that is one thing you're going to need to learn. If you're a good teacher, if you're well prepared, if you are on time, reliable, engaging, and you can connect with the students and the families, you're going to be a very busy person. The opposite is the opposite. So I started getting loads of kids. And what you have to do online is you have to do what's called a demo class. So you do like a 15, 20-minute class with the kid, and it's your opportunity to make a connection with the child and then the parents are usually in the background watching, or they watch the video afterwards. And do you know what? Again, without blowing my trumpet, I was converting every single demo. You put me in a demo, it was in the bag. And my schedule filled up so quickly. And teaching online can very quickly become overwhelming. I could talk about this for hours, but I was working very quickly 7 days a week. All day Saturday, all day Sunday, and all evening from like 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And I was making good money. But the problem is, you can burn out. And that is the problem. If you don't manage your schedule, if you don't manage your time, it can become very overwhelming. And also, the guy I was working for, no disrespect, very successful guy, but man, he would push and push and push, and he was so driven, as I was, because I was getting really close to this guy. I mean, as far as I'm aware, I mean, he's Chinese. I mean, he might have been a good actor, but we got on really well. And very quickly, I became more involved in the business. Bit of a pattern forming here, isn't there? I get really involved and then nothing happens. But basically, I was involved in the recruitment and training of teachers again. So things evolved quickly, as did my schedule. And it just started, I don't want to sound like a moaner, but it started to wear me down. My passion and love for teaching, it started to kind of disappear a little bit. And I'm like, oh no. I mean, I had students, right? I had students that, I'd do it for free. They were absolutely beautiful little human beings. But there were also some kids that used to drive me absolutely nuts. So you've got to be pretty firm with your rules and expectations from these students, because they will push your buttons, yeah? So classroom management's really important. So again, personal coaching, I can help you with the classroom management. I can advise you, I can train you how to manage these situations. And there's lots of different strategies that you can apply to make your life much more comfortable. So, you know, I set my standards. I made it very clear what I expected from my students. And I would not take on any students that were going to be, well, just treating me like a cuddly toy, you know, prodding me, poking me, being disrespectful. Waste of time. I'm not wasting my time, I'm not wasting their time, and I'm not wasting the parents' money. I'm here to teach English, and trust me, if a kid comes on the platform and they're engaged, they're happy, they're performing, I will give 1,000,000% everything from the heart. I absolutely love teaching. I'm so passionate about it, and I just love teaching kids, teenagers, adults that are interested in the language. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Did I say I love it? But yeah, so it can become overwhelming. And at the same time as teaching 7 days a week, like I say, working in the evenings, lucky, my big boy, my son, my dog, he kept having these seizures. And one day, I'm going to try not to get upset today. I was up teaching, and I came down to check on him, and he was in the garden. And I went upstairs to teach some classes, and when I came down, he was lying in direct sunlight with his eyes wide open, having the most horrendous fit, I guess you could call it. He was really in a bad state. I mean, it was terrifying, because he wasn't being aggressive to me, but he was so confused. His eyes were rolling in his head. He was foaming at the mouth. And I don't know how long he'd been laying in the sunshine. I don't know how much damage had been done to his brain. But of course, I felt so guilty, because I'm upstairs teaching, like class to class to class. You almost forget everything else, because the pressure and the environment you're working in is literally, you have to be so focused, and you're going from class to class to class, and you just forget everything else. So when I came down, I don't know how long he'd been out in the garden, lying in sunlight with his eyes wide open. So I just rushed him to the vets, and they gave him like this medicine to stop the fits, and it worked, but he really wasn't the same after. His joints started becoming stiff. He wasn't able to stand up. So I took him to the hospital in Hua Hin It's a university hospital and it's international, and they're really, really good. And the doctor said that it could be two things. It could be a brain tumour, or it could be a deep inner ear infection. And so she said, look, why don't we just give it a try? Because if it's a deep inner ear infection, we could cure it. So I decided to try. We started giving him medication, but it meant going to a vet's every day to have injections. And again, the local vets, I'm not going to say too much, but they're not the same as in the hospital. And I don't want to talk about it, actually, because basically I'm not sure what happened, but an injection was given, and lucky, he went from being alert to being just barely breathing, and I had to rush to the hospital again. And the doctor said, look, he can only be kept alive on a ventilator, and I had to make that decision. Now, in my hometown here, Prachuap, they won't put your dog down. They refuse to do it. They refuse to euthanize dogs because of the Buddhist belief that things should happen naturally. But in the Hua Hin hospital, they're international, so they agreed to put Lucky to sleep, and that's what they did. So that was really tough. And again, you have to keep working, right? I took a bit of time off, and me and the girlfriend, she was devastated, of course, but what I wanted to do was I wanted Lucky and Mimi to be together. So I went in the garden, and after nearly 3 years I actually exhumed Mimi's bones, and I pieced her together. This might sound a bit dark, but it was very therapeutic to me. And I put them both together, and we took them to the temple. There's a temple in Thailand, or in Hua Hin, that will cremate the dogs. So I got them cremated together, and I got their ashes. And again, some people might not agree, but that's what I did, and it gave me peace, and it gave my girlfriend peace as well. So that's it. My two original gangsters have now gone to heaven. So life-changing, isn't it, when they go? In the meantime, I picked up another dog. I called her Patch. She was one of the street dogs that I was feeding, and she was so ill. I was at, I said I'll never get any dogs again, but I was at a sort of weak moment. I just grabbed her because she was on the brink of death. She was emaciated, covered in sores. I just took her. So here I am with another dog, and I've still got Chockley as well, the lunatic who likes to bite people. And I'm going to pause because I'm just going on and on, but online teaching, Lucky and Mimi in heaven, ex-wife down in Surat, girlfriend, wonderful, she's being really patient, a little bit jealous, but we're dealing with that. And I'll continue in the next part talking about the next thing that happened to me whilst teaching online, which again was a pretty fundamental part of my life, and things changed quite dramatically. So thanks for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, check my website. You'll see everything there: teaching materials, coaching, classroom management, ebook. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, teachers. Thank you. Bye bye.